And we're back.
Yes, we were chit-chatting about sequels that came way later on down the line. Or remakes or continuations. I think about the most recent National Lampoon Vacation movie. And how... I'm trying to think, I don't know anybody who actually watched it, but I remember looking at that Metacritic score, and it was so low that I was just sad for everybody involved. No. Not that National Lampoon's been making great stuff anyway in the past, 2 decades.
And what's funny is you'll have, it's either from the studio perspective where they're like, resurrect this property to make a movie, or someone's passion project that no one else cares about.
But they owe them a lot of favors, so they're just going to go with it.
That's what, I believe that the word on the street is that to get Riddick made, because Chronicles of Riddick, which I enjoy in a lot of ways, it tanked hard. Because Pitch Black was a cheap, survival horror film, and then they wanted to make this big sci-fi epic next with Chronicles of Riddick, and it was very expensive, and it completely tanked terribly. To my knowledge, they say that Vin Diesel was like, okay, I'll show up in Tokyo Drift to get the rights to Riddick. And he put up a lot of money of his own to get Riddick to be made years later down the line. And I think Riddick is one of the ones where it's not perfect. It's a sequel that kind of got back to, because you can think of it as Pitch Black 2.0 in a lot of the ways that it hits some of the same beats. But that was a sequel, I think it was about 10 years between Chronicles of Riddick and Riddick that kind of got them back on track and was actually okay, as opposed to...
You didn't like Pitch Black?
I love them all. Riddick is my favorite sci-fi series.
I was going to say, I really liked Pitch Black. And then they came out with the second one, which was wildly different from the first one. It was very different, And I so got into the, the warrior race being, attacked and worn out by the necromongers.
Necromongers, yeah.
I thought that was so freaking cool, and all the fights were good, and then I was just morbidly disappointed when, way after that, it feels like it was just recently they came out with the third one.
Yeah, it was Riddick. It
was called Just Riddick?
Just called Riddick, yeah.
Oh, well that explains
they slightly touched on the whole necromonger kind of a thing, and then Riddick is removed from that position, and it's just Riddick and his dog, and then these mercs.
What the fuck happened? Because they ended
Money.
The second
No budget.
with the bull, but they ended that second movie with he's the king, and you're just he's gonna rip the universe, and you asshole. Things are about to kick so much ass. The second movie ended just perfect. It was so kick ass, and then third movie's let's do a rip off of the first one we did, but it sucks.
I think a big part of that was them realizing, okay, we actually only have $5 in a sandwich, so Riddick is betrayed instantly. He's left on his own on this planet, and here's a bunch of no-name actors, kind of a thing.
That does lead into another problem where they either won't continue on the writing, it's a big problem with comic books, where they either want to take it in a drastically different area, or they just want to go back to the status quo and either tell that story or take into a drastically different direction from the base point.
I think sometimes, and Riddick is a good example, because they still want to make one final movie, I believe. And I think a big deal with Riddick was kind of getting the people back into it, getting them back into the character, because the first one was too ambitious, the second one was too ambitious. They're okay, what if we bring Riddick down a little bit? And because Riddick ends with him looking, hold that thought.
Kick out the right and cross the left. Remove the left leg.
Head shark!
Where were we, Sally?
And we're back. Riddick though, but in the animated series. Not series. I think it was just a movie.
It was a 20-minute animated.
I thought it was really good. So I would have honestly waited and saved up the money and not done the crappy third one. Period. Because it was really.
See, and I thought and here I am, because I like Riddick, the last movie, a lot, because the reason I like Riddick a lot is because it didn't continue that much with the story from Chronicles, but it's in 3 parts, and it does think, actually, even though it seems on the surface like Pitch Black 2.0, it does do something different. The first third of the movie is just you getting to know Riddick as a person, and that had not been done before. Because the first Pitch Black is the first third is here's the survivors, and Riddick is like this force that exists like in the background, and they're talking about him. You'll see him in the background stealing their drinks, hiding. Did Riddick kill that guy? And it's all what is Riddick? And then
where is he?
Yeah, and then he's kind of like this aloof
it's
killer.
Like,
yeah.
It's like how everybody sees Batman in a lot of the recent and the current Batman stuff. It's like Batman's a legend. Batman's not real.
Yeah, because he's so good.
And this is the first time where you get to see like Riddick is like betrayed, left for dead on this planet, and so for a good 20-30 minutes, you're just getting to know Riddick as a person, and he's like, I screwed up because I got comfortable, I became like domestic kind of a thing. I kept getting close to people, so it's just me and this planet that wants to kill me, and I'm going to become hard again. Let's adopt a puppy.
I will agree with you. I mean, there's nothing about Riddick himself, the one character that I dislike. I did not, however, like the rest of the cast. Period.
I think, and another cool thing about and that was also different, even though it was.
Did you
it was
dislike them acting, or did you dislike the characters?
All of the above.
Because for like one of the things on disliking the characters, it's kind of like the Rambo setup, where like they're like, don't like these people, so you don't feel bad when we break their necks.
Exactly. I think, and I can understand that. Where I did like, they're all playing scumbags. That was another cool thing about, because Pitch Black is about a convict who was a killer and a bunch of innocent survivors. Just like a priest and like three of his boys.
Kind of like resettling,
like they're all innocent. And this one is a planet full of these devil creatures. There's Riddick, who's not really a good person either, and a bunch of mercs who are all terrible. Like the first ship is full of, they're obviously like raping this girl, and he sets her free and he shoots her, and then Riddick like watches her kind of bleed out after the comics do that. And so you don't really feel bad for these. It's interesting having a movie full of like bad people and
on a murderous planet.
Exactly, and where Riddick obviously isn't it's very much like they tried to kill me so I killed them kind of a person, and then all these terrible mercs, and then a father who's like, my son died with you like 15 years ago. I just want to know what happened to my son. And that was also a different beat because like this is Big Daddy John. It's the big villain in the first Pitch Black movie was this mercenary who was supposed to be a good guy. It turns out he was like a piece. He was trash. He was scum. Yeah. He wanted to kill the little girls so that they could survive. And Riddick never told anybody about that. In fact, whenever he comes back after Johns is killed, the girl's crying because another person died. He's like, "Don't you dare cry for Johns." And he doesn't tell her why. Like, he's like, "No, Johns." He didn't say Johns wanted to kill you. He's like, "Nope. Keep moving on."
Let's go.
Yeah, kind of a thing. And so this father has to come back to. Well, I don't want to know what to put in the family Bible. Your son was a scumbag, and he has to accept that and help Riddick. And that last scene of Riddick after he's been betrayed again, he's bleeding out. He's climbing up this mountain, and all the devil creatures are after him. And it's like in slow mo. He's like, "Ah!" He's like, "No!" He's like trying to fight him with like bones, and like he's about to die. And like Riddick, you see, like Riddick is like the soul of like survival, which is exactly what he is in every movie. Everybody around Riddick keeps dying, and if he cares about somebody, that means you're gonna die, terribly. And like Riddick just can't win in life. And just that last scene of him, doom is coming. He's bleeding out, and he's just trying so hard.
That's
to live.
every movie, though. I don't know if you know that.
Well, like not in the Vin Diesel movie. I'm saying it was never that, I guess, that dire. I mean, at the end of Pitch Black, he fights like a monster, and then she sacrifices himself for him. At the end of Chronicles of Riddick, it's him fighting this king. But this is just Riddick by himself
against nature.
Against just these hundreds of monsters coming up, and and at the end, they come back and save him. But I begrudge nobody for not loving Riddick, because I think it was only like received, again kind of like a mediocre way. But as far as like sci-fi characters go, I definitely think Riddick is
top tier.
One of the most interesting and underappreciated I think sci-fi character. Yeah, sorry, I went off. The entire last half of this podcast is a
Riddick love letter.
Yes, just break it
I know. Well, I think we should do it.
So Vin Diesel, I'd love to date.
Clearly, now's the time to propose. I mean, you just keep.
I did. These are the reasons you need to love Riddick. Riddick is the best movie ever made. It should have won Oscar for best art direction and best soundtrack.
Mark Sinclair.
Is his real name?
Mark Sinclair.
Vin Diesel's name is Dear Mark. Dear Stan. Yeah, Dear Mark. I bought your movie. Yeah, so...